Okay, so hey there guys. So today's video is going to be another Best in Beauty video, and today I'm going to be talking about my favorite highlights, blushes, and bronzers. We're going to start off with highlighters because I have a ton of highlighters to talk about this year. I did try out a ton of new ones this year, so I really want to just cover those first. I took like my entire um, bin of highlighters out of my bathroom just so I could talk about all the ones that I'm going to mention because I have a lot. So we're just going to jump into it and talk about highlighters first. So the first one that I have to mention that is probably my all-time favorite highlighter this entire year is the Dose of Colors Desi and Katy Fuego highlighter. This highlighter I know is not new to some people, but it was new to me this past summertime because I decided to pick it up when they re-released it, and I finally was able to pick it up in an Ulta store because um, in my Ulta, it was not available for Dose of Colors was not sold in stores at my location until like this past summertime, and they got the Desi and Katy collection in the store. So I decided to finally get the highlighter with my birthday coupon, and this is probably my most used gold highlighter this entire fall into winter. I use this at least once or twice a week. It's just so freaking stunning. I discovered so many amazing highlighting formulas this year, and I'm going to talk about my other top two in a second. But this one is definitely like my favorite one that I've tried besides another one I'm going to talk about. It has this super smooth, creamy formula, and it's just super intense, and it's just has that intensity every single time when you use it, and it's just beautiful. Like, look at that. It's so stunning on the cheekbones, and it's not too dark for me because it's more of a like better highlight for lighter skin tones. I did not do my brows today. I guess it's going to be a no brow day today because I really just don't feel like going to do them. I think they look totally fine, and I'm not going to go in the bathroom and do it because I'm just hanging out with my boyfriend today. That's why I don't have too much makeup on right now. I did really natural makeup today. So, yeah, I'm just going to go no brows. I'm such a rebel. Maybe I'll fix them before he gets here, but honestly, it really doesn't bother me at all. So, yeah. This is definitely one of my favorites this year, so I highly recommend it. It's amazing. I love it so much. And then my other all-time favorite highlighter this year, this is probably my all-time favorite highlighter I've ever tried in my life. I love this formula so much. And I'm talking about the Lancome Dual Finish Highlighter in the shade 05 Sparkling Peach. This highlighter is so freaking stunning, you guys. It performs like it's a cream to powder kind of formula. It reminds me of um, the ColourPop highlighters or the Physicians Formula Butter highlighters, which I also am going to mention in this video. But this one, there is just something about it that makes it so freaking stunning. It looks wet on the cheeks, and it's so intense, and I use this all the time. As you guys can tell, I use this a crap ton. And I love like peachy toned highlighters just as much as I love gold highlighters. They're like my two favorite colors to wear. I'm just going to swatch like my favorite highlighters this year. I'm not going to swatch like every single highlighter that I'm talking about. But this one is also just that like super buttery, like creamy formula, and then it kind of turns into a powder once you apply it, and it's amazing. I know that these are pricey, but I'm telling you guys, it is worth trying one of these. At least try the limited edition holiday kit where you get 3 highlighters and you get this one in there. This is just amazing. I love it so much. I can't talk about this enough. It's phenomenal. And then my other favorite is, of course, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlighter. I know everyone and their mom talks about this highlighter, but honestly, it really is stunning. I've always loved the Anastasia highlighting formula, but this is like the only new like highlighter that I picked up this past year from Anastasia. I had most of the glow kits that I wanted already, and I have a couple of her individual ones that this was the only one I was really interested in picking up this year. I just really wanted to try it because everyone was raving about it, and it really just adds this beautiful sheen Like, it's just a beautiful sheen with absolutely no shimmer in it, and it's super intense. It's really stunning. So this one is the Amrezy one. Look how blinding that one is. It just has this beautiful, like, reflectiveness to it. It looks so stunning on the face. And I mix this probably with every single gold highlighter that I use. If I want something to be a little bit lighter, I'll mix this in with it, and it looks so beautiful. Or if something's not intense enough for me, I'll throw this on top. Or I'll throw on the Fuego highlighter, and both of those just make every single highlighter look more intense. They never let me down. Like, there are some highlighters that I'm like, oh, it's not really like working for me today, and then I'll throw one of these on top and it'll just make everything pop. So again, I'm not the hugest fan of Amrezy, but I really did love this highlighter. I do like Anastasia Beverly Hills. So that is it for those. And then let's talk about, what other highlighter do I want? Okay, this is probably my other favorite highlighting formula this year. Let's get into a few palettes, and then we'll talk about a little bit more individual ones. This highlighting palette, the Flower Beauty Shimmer and Strobe highlighting palette. This is one of the best highlighting palettes I've ever tried in my life. It has such an amazing formula. This is like one of those drugstore hidden gems. This formula is like the best, probably the best drugstore highlighter formula I have tried. They are so silky smooth and so intense on the face, but again, there's no glitter. It kind of reminds me of the Lancome highlighters actually, but these are super, super creamy and they are just stunning. Look at these. They are just so intense and they are so beautiful on the face. So there's 3 shades that you get in there. There's like this beautiful white shade, then you have this pink, and then you have a gold. And they are, again, so freaking beautiful on the face. So, I finally tried a couple of products from Flower Beauty this year, and this was definitely the one I was the most excited to try because everyone raves about this palette, and it really is gorgeous. So definitely check this out. It really just is so stunning on the face. It just applies like a dream. You don't have to really build it up at all. It's just so beautifully intense. I love this guy. So stunning. So that's another one I fell in love with. And then another highlighting palette I absolutely loved this year is the Milani Stellar Lights highlighting palette, and this comes with 3 shades in here. Again, the drugstore is killing it this year, and I found a lot of highlighting formulas that I absolutely fell in love with this year. So this one is no exception. These ones are much more metallic, but again, they're super intense and super gorgeous on the face. That's what I'm going to keep on saying in this entire video because what else can you say about highlighters? But this really is so stunning. It just has a beautiful formula. And again, these are much more intense than the Flower Beauty ones, but they are so beautiful. I love these. I mix all 3 of them together usually because this last one, the rose gold one, is a little bit too dark for me. So I'll mix it with the gold, or I'll mix it with the white, or just swirl all 3 together. And they're so intense on the face. Like, these, again, are so stunning, and I love this guy. So this is one of my favorite drugstore palettes this year as well. So that one is beautiful. Another highlighting palette that I freaking love, I guess we're getting into highlighting palettes now since they're on the side, and I just want to talk about them, is the ColourPop Innuendo palette. I wasn't going to mention my double play duo this year because I've already talked about those, but I do have a couple from ColourPop I really want to talk about. So this is the first one I want to mention. This is the ColourPop Innuendo palette. Again, these are freaking stunning on the face. They just have this beautiful sheen to them. They're a little bit glittery, but they just look beautiful on the face. These are, I swirl like all of them together and they all look so beautiful. The ones that I use the most are these 3 shades, which is Glad You Came, On the Loose, and Morning After, and I'll just swirl all 3 together and that'll be my highlight. And these are really beautiful as well. My nose is already running again. How is that happening? How is it happening already? Sorry, it's just driving me nuts. I blew my nose like 20 times before this video and my nose is still running. Let me just... were those the ones I just swatched on my hand and I just wiped them off? Oh my gosh. All right. So, this shade, and this shade. I love the other shades as well, but I use these ones the most. This one's also gorgeous, which is called Fine Line, but ColourPop highlighting formula is stunning as well. They're really intense and buttery highlighters, and I really love them. As you can see, these are really beautiful. And again, they're very similar to the ones that I was showing you because I kind of have a very fair skin tone, so obviously I'm going to like some of the similar shades. Oh my god, this drives me insane. Like, why is everything driving me crazy already? But yeah, beautiful palette. I love this guy. I think Kathleen Lights turned me on to this one, as well as these two, and I fell in love with all of these, so she definitely gave me some really good recommendations this year, because I love all of these palettes. They are so bomb. I love them. Speaking of, we're not going to get into more ColourPop right now. And I'm going to talk about those when I talk about blushes. So let's talk about these guys real quick. I absolutely love these guys from the drugstore as well. If I could find the other highlighter. There it is. So the other highlighting formula that I absolutely fell in love with this year, this is one of the best formulas at the drugstore as well. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Highlighters, and I have the shades Champagne and Pearl, and I absolutely fell in love with the color Champagne. This, again, has a very similar formula to the Lancome one. It is super intense, but I feel like they're kind of starting to go a little bit bad because they have like a weird smell to them, which I wish that these were sealed better when you first got them, because they have like that creamy like hybrid formula like ColourPop does, but these are so intense on the cheeks, so beautiful. I love this guy. And then the shade Pearl is this beautiful like dual chrome white pink, and this one's also stunning, and it has again that really creamy wet cream to powder formula, and they're just so intense on the cheeks. So again, this is an amazing drugstore formula. Like, this was the gold one. Champagne is definitely one of my most used gold highlighters this year as well. So I absolutely love these. These are so good, you guys. So a lot of good drugstore finds this year. And then another one that I really love from the drugstore is the Pixi by Petra Glowy Gossamer Duo in the shade Delicate Dew. When I first tried this highlighting duo, I didn't understand what all the hype was about, because I didn't really love it when I first got it. I'm like, I don't really like this all that much. But then when I started using it more, I feel like you had to kind of just break through the top layer of this guy in order for it to really be really intense. Because when you swatch them, they are stunning. They like have that beautiful like creamy kind of glossiness to them, and that's why they're called the Glowy Gossamer Duo. I feel like they have like a glossy kind of shine to them. And on the face, they are really intense and really stunning and blinding. So definitely really like this guy as well. This one is definitely a little bit more expensive than the other options that I'm talking about. This is like $18 or $19. It's not really sold at the drugstore. It's sold at Target. But it's more of a pricier option for something that's a little bit more mid-range price. Like, some of their products are like $20. So this was like 18 bucks, but I really wanted to try it. So, and I really, really like it. So I was almost about to return it, but I actually thought that it's really nice. So, and I didn't really want to be bothered returning it at Target. It's a little bit inconvenient for me to go there. I mean, it's still close to my house, but you know, sometimes Target is a little bit too insane for, especially around this time of year, during the holidays and stuff. Obviously, the holidays are over now. Another one I fell in love with this year is this guy. Let's start talking about a little bit more expensive stuff. So this one is the Ofra highlighter in the shade Glazed Donut. I actually picked this one up at Ulta with my 20% off coupon, and this is the NikkieTutorials collaboration highlighter. You guys know I love Ofra highlighters. I love Beverly Hills. I love Rodeo Drive, but those ones were in my Best in Beauty last year, so I really wanted to just mention this one this year. This is so beautifully intense. Like, it is one of the most blinding highlighters I've ever tried. Ofra and Lancome and the Dose of Colors are like my 3 new favorite highlighting formulas. This Ofra has been my new favorite highlighting formula for the past like year or two, and they're just blinding. They are so freaking stunning. This one is no exception. I think that she did a freaking bomb job on this highlighter. I'm really happy that she actually created a highlighter that she loves with a company that slays the highlighting game, because Ofra's highlighters are so buttery and literally the most intense things you could ever find. They are so freaking stunning on the face. And this one is just so beautiful, so frosty. It's like such a wintry kind of vibes kind of highlighter, and I love this so much. So love that too. Then I also want to talk about a couple of these guys. So I want to talk about the two Extra Dimension Skin Finishes by MAC in these shades Oh Darling, Oh Darling, and Whisper of Guilt. Yes, they look very, very similar, you guys. When I first picked up Whisper of Guilt, because I already had Oh Darling in my collection, I picked up Whisper of Guilt during the 20% off sale, like back in like February or March. And I do use these a ton as well. I'll use Whisper of Guilt with the Amrezy highlighter. I'll use Oh Darling with the Amrezy highlighter. I'll just mix the two together if I need a little bit more intensity. But again, these are really beautiful gold highlighters. I mean, Whisper of Guilt is a cult classic from MAC. But honestly, I don't really love this guy as much as my other MAC highlighters. It's okay. It's not like... When I first tried it, I really thought I was going to be like blown away by it. But honestly, I feel like it's a straight up dupe for the Amrezy highlighter, or the Amrezy highlighter is pretty much a straight up dupe for it. So this one is Whisper of Guilt, and this one is a little bit lighter than Oh Darling. Oh Darling is definitely darker in tone. And they're beautiful and they're intense, and you know, they're the MAC formula that you expect. And I really do enjoy them, but I find that I like other highlighters more in my collection, but these are still good highlighters. They're not like the best you'll ever have, but they're good, so they are worth trying. I think that they're good highlighters, so that's that. And then might as well talk about this. This is white right in front of me is the Fenty Beauty Killawatt Freestyle Highlighting Duo in the shades Lighting. Oh my god, how am I already getting highlight on myself? These are the shades Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. I picked these up earlier in the year, I believe like February or March or something, and I use these like crazy. These are really beautiful as well. I really do like her highlighting formula as well. I haven't used them in a while, and honestly, the past like couple times I've used it, I feel like it's very sheer now. I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. My sister ended up borrowing it from me, and okay, so I'm sorry, my boyfriend's texting me. He's going to be here at 4, so I still have plenty of time to film. So this one, it's pretty on the face, and it's intense and beautiful, but I find like the past couple of times I've used it, I haven't loved it as much as I used to, but it's still really good. I think it's starting to get a little bit dried out a little, I don't know. But my sister did borrow this for a show, and she used it for a while, and she said she really liked it. And it took her forever to give it back to me because she accidentally forgot to give it to me when she gave back the rest of the makeup that she borrowed from me for the show, so I had to get it like a couple months later, and I finally got it back. So I do really like it and I enjoy it, so that's a good highlighter as well. Okay, then the next ones are a couple from ColourPop again. This one is the Pressed Powder highlighter in the shade Here Kitty Kitty. Again, with the ColourPop highlighters, they have like this subtlety about them, but they still are stunning on the face. I don't know what it is about them. They have such a beautiful formula. They're very, they're just really like sheeny. They're not too glittery, and they're just beautiful. I love this guy. I wore this a ton this year as well. So this one is Here Kitty Kitty. Look how pretty that is. It really is stunning and reflective, and I just really love it. So that one is also beautiful as well. It's like a white gold highlighter, and I just love the ColourPop highlighters. You know, they're really, really good. And then the next one is the ColourPop Super Shock highlighter in the shade On the Cusp, and this one is the Kathleen Lights collaboration with ColourPop. She finally came out with a highlighter from ColourPop because she's never had a highlighter with any other collection, so of course I had to pick it up. And this is beautiful. Like, oh, it's so pretty. This one has like that wet cream to powder formula again, and it has like this frostiness to it, and it's just so pretty. So that one is on, oh my god, you probably can't even see it. This one is On the Cusp right here. Look how pretty that is. Oh, stunning. It's like this pearlized, beautiful, like ivory kind of color, and it's just so pretty. I really love this one. I love combining this with other highlighters. I love wearing it on its own. Sometimes I just use my fingers to apply it, and then I buff it in with a brush, and it's just so beautiful. Like, this is really pretty. I think I did an entire Zodiac collection Get Ready With Me. But I don't know if I had received this yet, but I have used this a ton this year. It really is gorgeous on the face. Sometimes I'll even I'll take this and then I'll put like one of the eyeshadows from the ColourPop Zodiac collection on top of it, like the Gemini or like the Cancer, and I'll throw it on top to make it more intense, and it was like so beautiful on top. But I'll always use this first because I always have to use some type of highlighter on my face. So that one is stunning as well. Do I have any other individual highlighters before I get into the rest of the highlighting palettes and blushes? I think that's it for highlights. I, of course, love my Wet n Wild ones. That's no exception. I use those a ton this year. But I think that's it for the other highlighters that are in here. Yeah, I think so. Those are definitely my most used, most favorite highlighters in the entire year. The last one I wanted to mention is this guy. I mean, I love both of these, but I really wanted to mention this one. I love my Molten Gold highlighter from Maybelline, but I also picked up this shade this past year, and this is the Maybelline Master Chrome by Face Studio Metallic Highlighter in the shade Molten Rose Gold, and this is so beautiful too. Like, I think I used this in a Get Ready With Me like a month or two ago, and this formula from Maybelline is so freaking amazing. I love this, and this one is also super intense, and it has this one is pink without being like too obnoxiously pink. And it's really, really beautiful. So that one is right there. You guys can't even see it. Let me actually like swatch this properly. And again, it is really pink, but it's not like too dark on my face. And that one is right here. Look how pretty that is. Oh, so pretty. I like this one more than the Burberry highlighter. The Burberry's not in my Best in Beauty. I think this one is better, because this one is a lot more rose gold, a lot more pink, a lot more intense, and you guys know I love intense anything. So that is it for individual highlighters. Now let's just talk about some blush palettes slash highlighters. I have to mention this highlighter first because this one is freaking amazing. I'm trying to move some stuff out of the way so I actually have room to talk about some things. Okay, so the next one is by Beauty Bakery, and this is the Beauty Bakery Scoops Elise palette. And the highlighter in here is so good, you guys. Like, these powders in general are so pigmented, and they're a little bit powdery, but once you apply them, they are so freaking beautiful on the face. They are so pigmented, but this highlighter is so stunning, and this is called Beige Net. They are just so creamy, and this is so intensely beautiful. Again, it's a little bit powdery, but it's so intense. Look at this. Like, come on. And that's what it looks like. It is so stunning. I was so impressed with this palette when I first tried it. I wish I didn't spend the money on the lipsticks and I'd just gotten another like highlighting or eyeshadow palette or just the other highlighting palette from them, because I don't like the lipsticks that much at all. The powder products are so freaking bomb. And we're going to come back to the blushes in just a minute. You know what? Let's just talk about the blushes too, because I'm talking about the blushes and highlighters now. So I also loved these blushes this year. Creme Brulee is a beautiful peach, and then French Tart is a beautiful orange, and then this is a beautiful pink. Like, I use these a ton. Look how beautiful these are. They're so smooth and so creamy, and they only take a couple of strokes to really build them up. And they're super pigmented, so you literally need like the tiniest amount. Even that Creme Brulee shade that I'm showing you guys, super pigmented. So these are amazing, and I definitely recommend trying at least one of their blush or highlighting palettes because they are so, so good, you guys. They pretty much blew up this year because of the whole Huda Beauty controversy with the whole baking powder thing. So I haven't tried their baking powder yet. I really would like to try more products from them. The last two like brands I really want to try stuff from is Thrive Cosmetics and more stuff from Beauty Bakery. So that one is amazing. And then another blush slash highlighting palette that I loved this year is the Too Faced Natural Face Palette. Yes, I did pick this up in February, and I just couldn't resist picking up this just solely for the packaging. But I actually didn't think I was going to love this palette so much because it's actually a really beautiful palette. But the packaging is so stunning. It's like a jewelry case. It's so pretty. It just like looks so fancy and luxurious and high-end to me. Like, I really just thought that this was really beautiful packaging. So I was like, wow, Too Faced, like you actually stepped up your packaging. And this is just so pretty. Like, look at the design. It's just so nice. So the two highlighters in here are Starlight and Satin Sheets. And these are stunning. These are like my favorite Too Faced highlighters I've ever tried. They have like a really beautiful like duochromeness to them. And they're very creamy. And let me swatch them for you. They don't look like anything on the hand, but look at that. Aren't those so pretty? They're like have this beautiful like romantic kind of vibe to them, and they're just again like a beautiful sheen. I fell in love with a lot of like sheeny highlighters this year, and these are beautiful. And also the two blushes in the palette were also some of my favorites this year. Pink Wink and Pink Sand. They're both stunning. I'm not going to swatch them. Maybe I'll just swatch one. These, again, you have to wear on the face. This looks very purple in the pan, but it's not that purple on the face. And it's a beautiful, like, mauve-y toned blush. That's that one right there. And then I also love the bronzers in this palette, but I might come back to those later after I talk about more blushes. So let's just set this to the side for now. Okay, then the next, the last highlighting palette I have to talk about. I mean, I love my Double Play Duo from ColourPop, and I love the blush in here. I mean, I don't think that's any surprise. I have to mention it again because this is one of my most used blushes in my whole collection, and this highlighter is like the best highlighter I've ever tried from ColourPop. Like, I wish they came out with an entire palette just like with this highlighting formula, because this is still my favorite highlighter from ColourPop. It just has this gorgeous intensity to it. It really is amazing. I don't know if I might eat a little something before my boyfriend gets here. I'm probably just gonna have a snack, like a few cookies or something. So that is the blush, and that's the highlight. Again, so stunning. Look at that highlighter. Isn't it so blinding? And the blush is like one of my all-time favorite everyday blushes. It's just so good. I'm sorry I'm like kind of segueing into blushes, but it kind of makes sense when I have highlighters and blushes in one palette. So that is that guy. I mean, I always talk about that one. And then the last highlighting palette slash highlighting powders that I'm going to talk about is the Milk Makeup Holographic Powder Quad. And these are so pretty, you guys. Like, I used these like crazy this past year. As you can see, I've used it quite a bit. And these are gorgeous. They're like dual chrome highlighters and they're so beautiful. Again, they don't really have like super glitter in them. They're more of like just a duochrome highlighter and they're so cool looking on the face. So that one is the lighter peach one and that's that Mars shade that everybody loves. Look how dual, like it's like a white, peach, purple kind of vibe. They're just so cool on the face. They have like this space kind of quality to them. That's why it's like, they all have like space names. I'm pretty sure like one of them's called Mars and the other ones have different names. I just don't know what the names are because they don't put the names on the palette, which is kind of annoying. I wish that they did, but this one is their most popular shade. But these are beautiful. This is like always on sale on Sephora's website. And you guys know how much I love Milk Makeup this year. I love the pigments and I love this guy. I'm hoping to try their lip products at some point. They are always on sale, so I might have to pick them up at some point, at least one of them. But I just have so many lipsticks that it's like, it's really not necessary for me, but this is awesome. I really love Milk Makeup's products this year. So that is that, and that is it for highlighters. Now let's keep on talking about blushes. So the next blush palette I wanted to mention is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Kit. And this guy is also really, really pretty. And this is a really pretty blush palette. I love the packaging. And this just has some really beautiful, stunning, like everyday shades in here. This is one of my favorite palettes I got this year. I don't know if I got it last year or this year, but, or this past year or the year before, because obviously it's January. But again, these are really super smooth, really creamy, really pigmented. You can build them up to be really, really nice on the face. So these are really pretty as well. The two shades I swatched are Spoiled and Breeze, and they're just really good. These are definitely better than her Trio formula. I don't think he's here yet. No, not yet. So that's that. If I could put this away. My dogs have been barking like all day for some reason. Okay, so then the next blush I wanted to talk about, or blushes, are these two, because this is definitely like my favorite formula this year that I've tried, and that's the Burt's Bees blushes. This one got kind of shattered, so I'm not going to open it up, and I really don't want to shake it around too much, but this one is the shade Bare Peach, and then this one is Toasted Cinnamon. I definitely need another tissue. Thank God I have another one right here. So this one is a really pretty, like, darker kind of shade. And this one's really, these are really pigmented, really smooth. They really impressed me. They just apply really, really nicely. And the reason why I got turned on from these, again, was because of Kathleen Lights. And they're not really that pigmented when I swatch it. But you see how pretty that is? It's like a caramelly kind of shade. So pretty. It like really does remind you of Toasted Cinnamon, and it's really, really pigmented on the face, and they're really creamy, so I really love this. And this, of course, is a beautiful peach shade. So these were really, really nice. They impressed me a lot, so I definitely really loved that formula this year. And then also this guy from e.l.f. I have a lot of drugstore blushes to talk about because I tried a ton of drugstore blushes this year. So this one is the e.l.f. blush palette, and this one's actually really nice too. And this one is kind of similar to the Anastasia formula. They're not as smooth as the Anastasia ones, but these are really good as well. I have to start using these again soon. I mean, I used them like a month ago, and I just remember how much I love them. They're really, really good. Let me just swatch these two, like the nude and the like darker orangey shade. Come on, Caitlin. Can you swatch properly at all? I'm like swatching right over a highlighter. Sorry, I'm getting kind of hungry already. I think I might have a snack soon. Oh, come on, Caitlin. So this one's that pink shade, and that's the nude shade. They don't really swatch that well, but they're really pretty on the face. So I really like this guy as well. And then another blush from the drugstore is the Physicians Formula Butter Blush in the shade Vintage Rogue. And this is a really pretty peachy blush, and it's really smooth. Like these Physicians Formula blushes have a really smooth formula, and this is just a standard like smooth peachy blush, and it's really pretty. Sorry, I'm like getting thrown off already. I feel like I should eat something. I'm really tired. I haven't gotten that great sleep lately, and I'm probably gonna leave all this stuff in my room when I'm done because my boyfriend's finally dropping off my organization drawers, the Alex 5 drawers from IKEA, and I can't wait to organize my makeup later. But this guy is really buttery and really smooth and looks really pretty on the face, so I definitely like this one as well. And then the one that I'm wearing today is the L'Oreal Paradise Enchanted Scented Blush in the shade Bashful, I believe. Doesn't say it on the packaging, but it's just this really pretty, subtle blush, and it smells really nice. It smells like peaches, which I feel like they just kind of ripped off Too Faced because of that. But this is just a really pretty, like, typical everyday blush, and it kind of has a little bit of a sheen to it. It is a little bit dry when you swatch it, but again, it's really pretty on the face. I don't think it's even going to show up when I swatch it. But it's just a really light, subtle blush that you can wear for everyday use, and it's a nice blush. So there's that guy. Two more from the drugstore, and then we'll talk about a few high-end ones. So the next one is a really great formula if you're looking for something super pigmented and not too expensive. This is the Flower Beauty Flower Pots Powder Blush in the shade Peach Primrose. And again, this one is a really beautiful, intense blush. And I did do like a Flower Beauty Get Ready With Me where you could see where I use it. And these, again, are really, really pigmented and they look stunning on the face. This one lasts a really long time as well if you're looking for something that has a lot of lasting powder. It's very creamy, very pretty blush, so I really like this one as well. And then the next one is the Essence Satin Touch Blush in the shade Satin Coral. This one really impressed me. I actually really like this guy. It's very smooth and, again, looks really beautiful on the face. This one's kind of more of a lighter peachy color, and it's that one right there. And it looks really pretty, and it has like this really pretty sheen and satiny kind of finish on the skin because it's called a satin blush, and it actually looks like satin on your skin. It really is very, very pretty on the skin. I really like that one a lot. Is that it from the drugstore? Honestly, I don't really have too many like high-end blushes to talk about because again, I just really didn't try all that many new blushes this year. So that's really it for blushes, you guys. I really don't have any other ones to talk about. Yeah, I mean, I use like the same 5 blushes all the time. Apricot in the Middle from Wet n Wild is one of my favorites as well this year. It's a really beautiful, peachy, apricot-y kind of blush, and it's really beautiful and natural on the skin, so this was definitely one of my favorites this year as well. That one, again, is a little bit light, but it's a really beautiful everyday blush, so, and it's not really too sparkly. If you guys are thrown out from the sparkles in here, it really is not too sparkly at all. And then the last one I wanted to talk about, that's the only, like, high-end blush I'm going to mention besides my beloved, where is it? Oh my gosh, where is it? Where is it? Where is my Madly? Well, you guys know I love Madly. I don't really have to talk about it again. This is the Makeup Forever blush. I don't know what shade this one is. I probably should have looked it up. I probably could look it up on my Sephora purchase histories. And this is like the greatest video ever. And I'm already going to be done filming, and then I have to wait for my boyfriend for like a half hour, but whatever. It's only a half hour. Yeah, I could look up the shade in my purchase history because I don't have the shade on the packaging because you just put the duo in here, and that's how you that they give you this little duo when you buy the because these are individually packaged, and you like stick them in a Z palette or you stick it in this thing. Purchases. View all. Okay, for this, when did I buy it? All right, we'll come back in a second. I'm just going to find it real quick. Okay, so the blush is called S300 and it's a pastel coral blush. The highlighter in here, I don't really love it. I really love the gold highlighter in the Pro Sculpting Duo from Makeup Forever. This highlighter I wasn't really too impressed with, but the blush is really beautiful. A lot of people were talking about these for a while, not really the highlighters, but more so the blushes. And this was really like the only, I think this was the only high-end new blush formula that I tried this year, besides the Anastasia one, but I think I got that like a year ago. But you can't even see it. I don't know why you can't even see it that well. I think it's this one right here. It's just really pretty and a really beautiful, smooth formula on the face, and I really love Makeup Forever, so this one's a really beautiful blush as well. So that's it for blushes, you guys. And then we're just going to talk about a few drugstore and high-end bronzers, and that's it. So the first one I want to talk about, of course, is my beloved Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is just so beautiful on the face. It's so natural and just so easy to apply. It doesn't have like an orange undertone to it. It really is stunning and beautiful for everyday use. So that's why a lot of people talk about it. It has a beautiful buttery formula. That's why it's called the Butter Bronzer. It's just a really solid, beautiful bronzer. And then the next one, which is I'm actually wearing today, and this one I just fell in love with this year, and I just used it so much after I got it, is the Milani Baked Bronzer in the shade Dolce. Oh, so good. It's just so natural and just adds this beautiful sheen to your face. It just gives your face life, and I just freaking love it, and it smells so good. It smells like vanilla. Love that guy. And then the other one that I loved this year is my Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzer in the shade Rosewood, which is the only high-end bronzer I'm sharing with you besides one more. And this one, again, has a beautiful undertone. It's very pigmented, and I cannot mention bronzer without talking about this guy as well. I almost forgot to talk about that. I use that like every day of my life. Is this Madly? No, this is not Madly. This is probably the most pigmented one that I'm going to mention. This is a beautiful bronzer as well. It's very buttery, very easy to apply. Let me swatch at least one bronzer that I'm talking about. They always look super similar to me, but this, again, is really beautiful. It's this guy right here, and it has a really beautiful formula. I think you can find some of these bronzers at TJ Maxx now or Marshall's. I got this during the 20% off sale from Ulta, and this is a really good bronzer. So, very pigmented, super easy to apply. And then this one is probably my favorite bronzer this year besides the Milani one. I use this one probably the most often out of all the ones I'm talking about, and this is the ColourPop Pressed Powder Bronzer in the shade, what is it? Private Party. Private Party. I almost forgot the shade name for a second. It just has like, it has more of a cooler undertone than the other ones that I showed you guys. And it's just really pretty on the face. This one is right here. And it's kind of like not too pigmented and not too light. It's kind of in the middle. And I just really love this guy. It really is beautiful on the face as well. And then the next one that I really, really loved this year is the Neo Bronzer by Kevyn Aucoin. And this one is right here. And this has a really beautiful undertone as well. And this one is right here. Right there. And it has like this sheeny, glowy kind of texture to it because you can use this as a blush or a bronzer, but I mostly use just the bronzer part. And again, this is a beautiful bronzer on the face. And then the last bronzer I have to talk about is the Too Faced Natural Face Palette. And I wanted to talk about the Sunny Honey bronzer in here, which is this guy right here. Oh my god, so buttery, so smooth, so pretty. It literally looks like honey on your face. That's why it's called Sunny Honey. And it just warms up your face. And again, the formula in this palette was just so pretty. So I really thought that this Too Faced palette was one of the best things that they came out with in a long time. And I think that this is really, really good. And I think that's it, you guys. I think that's pretty much it. I didn't really want to mention anything else. I'm like, don't. Because everything else I use pretty consistently throughout the whole year. Like my Makeup Geek blushes, my Becca blushes. You guys have seen those like a million times. So honestly, there's really nothing else to talk about. I think I pretty much covered everything I want to tell you guys about for this year. Is this Madly? No, that's Orgasm. Yeah, I mean, I think that's it, you guys. I loved Luminoso from Milani again. This was one of my most used blushes, and Rosa Romantica, but I talked about those last year. So yeah, that's it. I think that's it, you guys. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media. Let me know what you guys loved throughout the year when it comes to blushes, bronzers, and highlighters. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon in my next one. So bye!